Salam.
Peace. So we're
So,
back again.
yeah, how are you doing this morning?
Great, as usual. Fantastic. Can't wait for the millions to join us. Anyway, first of all, the normal routine. I'm going to post the link for anyone who has any ability to come and talk about this book, which most people have none. All they can utter is nonsense about God and his books. And whoever wishes, they can join after the initial reading that we'll do for half an hour as usual. So last week we were reading chapter 20, the story of Moses, one of the aspects of the story of Moses, and we stopped at sign number, I think it was 56, I believe.
Yes, 56.
So basically, what's happened so far is that Moses met with Salam to whoever's here. It's the Siddiqui family, apparently. And God gave him the orders to go to Pharaoh, and he asked all his asking, and God made Aaron a prophet with him at his request, at Moses' request. And then he comes to Pharaoh and he says the initial interaction where he's questioning Moses, and then Moses says, he explains whatever the God is, the one who knows everything, and all the information is in the book of all the generations before that had passed before Moses and Pharaoh. And then the Spirit, I'll bring this up. So, so this is in sign 52, their knowledge of the condition of the generations of first with my Lord in a book. Not he strays, my Lord, and not he forgets. So then the Spirit adds, the one who makes the earth a cradle, and your animals eat from it. From her we create you, and in her we will return you, and from her we will take you out, return other. And this obviously we is speaking about God and the angels and the Spirit. They are going to do that. They've been doing it forever before, and they will do it afterwards as well. And then we showed him our signs, all of them, but falsified and refused. So these are all the signs that were shown, which are not explained here. But if you look at other places in the Quran, you will see those signs, like the one that was mentioned earlier in this chapter, the staff that would become alive, and also his hand which would come out completely white or bright without evil. So then, so after this is done and he says he's rejected everything, Pharaoh says this. So Pharaoh says to Moses, have you come to us? You're taking us out from our earth with your magic, O Moses. And then he says, but we are surely bringing you with magic example of it. So the magic, quote unquote, magic that he says Moses brought, with the staff that he threw and became alive, and his hand coming out of his side with complete brightness. So he says to Moses that your magic, to are surely bringing you with magic example of it. So make between us and between your promise, not will we change it, us and not you, a place even. So, we'll have an even battle. We'll bring our magic and you bring this nonsense that you have. This is magic and we will overcome your magic. So Moses responds, promised you day of the beauty, and that they be gathered, the mankind morning. So he said, whatever the day of their beauty was, that day the mankind's going to be gathered, and we'll see. So then Spirit continues and tells it, but turned Pharaoh, but put together his plan, then came. Said to them Moses. So Moses already knows they're plotting against him. I wonder how he knew that, right? Woe to you! Don't you invent over the God falsehood, but he will bring in front of you with punishment, and has lost one who invents. So he's warning Moses and I'm warning
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh. Yeah, warning Pharaoh. But they discussed their command between themselves and they concealed the meeting as if Moses did not know what they were doing, right? They said, if these two to be two magicians, they both want that they both take you out from your earth with both their magic, and they both take away with your tracts the example. So they're just like with any other messenger, like if I'm telling you don't do the nonsense you do, oh, he just wants us to stop all the fun and games we're having. He's just bringing this nonsense. I don't even have any signs like Moses, and neither did Muhammad or anyone after Muhammad. They don't come with these signs anymore because God has stopped sending these signs from after Muhammad, and afterwards these signs are not going to come until Jesus returns, obviously. That is the caveat, that is the exception. So they're saying these two magicians, they want to take you out of the earth and they want to stop the tracks, your examples, what you do on the earth. Just like I tell you, what you're doing on the earth are a bunch of lies and delusions and deception and falsehood. And you need to stop doing that and focus on God. You're like, oh, he's going to stop our fun and games, with his magic. I don't have any magic, by the way. So then he said, so put together your plan, then come ranged, and has prospered the day one high. So this is their plot, right? This is Pharaoh's plot between themselves. So now the magicians come, right? So this part here doesn't tell you that the magicians have come. In other chapters, you will learn what happened in between these lines. Yeah. They said, O Moses, of what that you throw, and afford that we be first who throw. So these are the magicians now talking to Moses. It's not clear here because you have to know the whole Quran to know what happened. I do. You people don't. So they say to Moses, who's going to throw first, you or us? He said, but throw. So Moses said, you throw. So when their ropes and their staffs, they changed to him from their magic, surely they strived. So they had example of Moses' magic back then. You have to understand that when God sends some of these signs, you people have similar stuff going on the earth, so that you think it's magic, which you are doing, but the reality of that magic that the messenger brings is far deeper and far more magical than any magic you will create. And guess what? God is the one who creates all magic. So when they throw through their ropes and their staffs, and they changed to him from their magic. So they made them become whatever using their magic, and they strive the ropes and the staffs of the magicians on the side of Pharaoh. But sensed in his soul fear Moses. So Moses, of course, a man, like I'm alone and you got like 10 magicians in front of me and they're doing similar stuff. And I'm going to fear, obviously, in my soul. So the answer from God to Moses, don't you fear, surely you the high. So when people say the only one high is God, well, I guess Moses is God here then, right? I mean, what nonsense. God is telling Moses, you're the high. Doesn't mean he's the highest.
Yeah.
God
High
is the
among.
high as well. I mean, God is the highest, but he's not the only high one. He is the highest. There are others under him that are the high. The chiefs, the high, for example, which are the angels, the spirit, and anyone else up there who is running the real show from their stations and their centers that are controlling everything on the earth. You don't understand this, obviously, because you see your own nonsense and think you control things. Yeah, let me laugh a little. What a bunch of nonsense. So when Moses feared, and of course, God knows that Moses is fearing now. And of course, Moses was also tried. It's not like he knew everything, right? He knew the things God inspired to him. That's why he told them, don't plot just a little while back. Don't plot. Don't make up nonsense. Yeah, you're God going to bring punishment in front of you. So here, he saw the things. Of course, he did not see it, and God did not inspire what's going to happen. So once he saw their staffs strive and wiggle and in front of him and change with their magic, he says, "Oh my God, there's like how many of them and one of me and my staff? How am I going to win?" And of course, God immediately says, "Don't you fear. Surely you the high." So who are the high ones? We are the high ones, the messengers of God. I am the high one on the earth today. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. It's not like Moses is high because he controls the earth Pharaoh controlled the earth right now at this point, when this is going on, and after this. Pharaoh was the one controlling the earth. Till the time he drowned, he was controlling the earth. Understand that. But who was the high? Moses. He's going to win. It has already been ordained to Moses and Aaron before this started that you are going to be the victorious and those who follow you. End of discussion. It does not matter who controls the earth till the end. You can control the earth till the instant you die, but you will go to hell if you're against God. And then he says to Moses, and throw what in your hand, it will eat what they manufacture. Surely what manufactured, plan of a magician, and not he prospers, the magician, wherever comes. So now you look on the earth, how many magicians are roaming around doing these super tricks and magic in front of you? And some of it is real, by the way. I believe that. But do they prosper? Only in their wealth,
Yeah.
the money they make from it, and the fame and fortune, as if that is prospering somehow. Oh, but you will say, what do you mean? Exactly. But threw down the magicians prostrating. So now what happened? It's already happened. You know, when God said that, what do you think Moses like hesitated? He threw the staff and he destroyed all their nonsense with that staff. Of course, God did it. But threw down the magicians prostrating. They said, we believe with Lord of Aaron and Moses. So this is all it took for the magicians there to understand, yeah, we have no chance here, right? But look at what Pharaoh responds with. Yeah, they said, okay, we believe, we give up. Pharaoh says, do you believe to him before that I called to you? And him, I've said here with a capital H, is God, but you can say it's Moses as well, but I'll leave it as, do you believe with him before that I called to you? Surely he to be bigger of you, the one who taught you the magic, but to my surely cutting your hands and your feet from opposites, and to my surely crucifying you in trunks of the date trees, and to your surely knowing which of us severer punishment and lasting. So now Pharaoh, the arrogant son of a bitch, yeah, he will not turn. Looking at, he's lost it, just like what's happening on the earth today with the American empire. They know they've lost it, but they cannot accept it. So they will continue killing, marauding, thieving, thuggery, all that nonsense is going on the earth until they are destroyed. They will be. So they said, the magicians respond to Pharaoh, not will you stop us over what comes to us from the clarities and the one who originated us, but decide what you decide. Surely what you decide, this, the life of the world. So all that these morons can decide is in the life of this world, which is a hoax, which is a deception, which is a delusion, which is fake. It is fake to the real reality that is out there. It's a reality, obviously. People say, oh, it's not fake. Yeah, it's not fake, but it's a fake reality. The true reality is on the hereafter side, on the other unseen side. This is nonsense. Okay, the life we live here, everything we do here is nonsense except turning to God and doing righteousness. The rest is bloody nonsense, all of it, including what I do other than serving God. And I do, obviously, because I have to survive on this earth just like you. I have to make sustenance for myself, however God teaches me, just like you did. But you make that as a seriousness, where that is just a part of life in this fake life that you live, this delusion and deception that you live. And the magician is saying, decide what you only decide this world, which is nothing. They don't say that, but for you, that's everything. Oh, so yeah, Pharaoh was right? Of course. Surely we believe with our Lord, said the magicians, to his forgiving to us our faults, and what you forced us over it from the magic, and the God better and lasting. Surely he won. He comes to his Lord sinner, but surely to him hell. Not he dies in her, and not he lives. So they're repeating exactly the belief of the believers now, because they've accepted Moses and Aaron as the high ones, as the ones to be followed. And they don't care whether they're killed or not by Pharaoh. They don't give a damn anymore. They know, they've understood this life is garbage, and they've accepted their faults and what they were forced, which is kind of like tongue-in-cheek, forced. Yeah, nobody's forced to do anything. You accept. Unless there is a gun to your head, you're not forced. You can make any other excuse that you want. Unless you're physically being tortured or threatened with death or dismemberment, you cannot be forced. The rest is your own decision because you don't want to lose your status or your wealth or your position or your career or anything else you've gained in this God-forsaken life that you live. So, and not he dies in her and not he lives. So, what's going to happen in hell? That's written there for you. You will not die and you will not live. Believe it or not. That's what's going to happen. You want perpetual life, you'll get it in hell. And one, he comes to him believing, has done the righteousness, but those, to them the ranks, the high, understanding they will be the high ones, the believers, not just the messengers and prophets. The believers as well will be the highly ranked, not in this goddamned world, in the hereafter where it matters. It doesn't matter here. All the highness you gain on this earth, what happens in the end, morons? Yeah, you keep it. You take it in your back pocket when you go to the grave, huh? Gardens eternal, flowing from beneath them, the rivers living perpetually in them. And that repaying of one who purifies. Oh, we got to purify. All these people trying to purify themselves and not doing evil, while evil is the only thing that gains us wealth. So let's do evil. And already we inspired to Moses that. So now, this is what happened. I mean, again, you have to understand this is not happening minute by minute, right? These days, months, years, decades have passed between some of these things. But I'm not going to explain, but understand when all this ended, when Moses was done with them and God was done with them, obviously. Then God inspired to Moses that travel with my servants, but strike to them a tract in the sea dry. Don't you fear overtaking, and don't you be afraid. So now this is where he's going to go and he's going to strike the staff at the sea, and the sea will part. So, but followed them Pharaoh with his forces, but covered them from the water what covered them, and made astray Pharaoh his people, and not guided, just like making astray all your leaders, you, all of you, and they're not going to guide you except to hell. While they'll stand there up there with their pedestals and their thrones and their highness and their beauty and their phenomenal words, and they will tell you, they will show where this is the righteousness, do this, we will prosper, we can never be overcome. I mean, which country says they're going to be overcome until they're overcome? Yeah, none of them.
Yeah.
When they're overcome, oh, this is because that happened, and he deceived us, and he conspired against us, and he was treasonous. That's why it happened. Otherwise, it would never happen. The Assad fell, and Maduro taken away. I mean, all this nonsense is going on the earth, and you take it seriously. I mean, you people are crazy. This is all nonsense. What's going on the earth? The reality is going to show up sooner or later. Then you'll know what is actual seriousness. Then, so now this is all the end. So I think I'm going to stopped over here. Yeah. No, actually, should we continue? Yeah, let's continue one
Yeah.
more. So now the sons of Israel have been saved. Yeah, from Pharaoh. He's destroyed Haman, Pharaoh. They're all going and burning in hell now. And then God talks to the sons of Israel who are with Moses, and the ones that are on the earth today and forever. So, O sons of Israel, have we saved you from your enemy? And we promised you sight of the mount of the faith, and we sent down over you the manna and the salva. Eat from good of what we sustain you, and don't you transgress in it, but it will be allowed over you my anger. And one, it allowed over him my anger, but has gone. And surely I to be forgiving to one who turns and believes and does righteousness, then guided. That's how you're going to be guided, by the way. You got to do all this stuff. You got to turn, believe, and do righteousness. Otherwise, you're not going to be guided. And doing righteousness for you guys is worse than pulling teeth, by the way. That's the reality. And then he turns to Moses. So now this he told them there. I mean, all this stuff is happening not in this sequence. Yeah? He's told them this, the sons of Israel, don't do this. And this manna and salva, this happened probably after what is coming next. But I'm not going to go into details of that. But they were told all of this. God used to send down manna and salva over the sons of Israel and shared them with clouds. And they weren't happy with that even. If you look at chapter 2 and read that, they don't want that food, the one food. Yeah. Man is a ingrate to his Lord always. Yes, the sons of Israel were the chosen ones. They're still the chosen ones for the grace of God. They always will be. That doesn't absolve them from their crimes, from turning away from God. If they do that, and they have been doing that ever since Jacob and his sons left, and during that time as well, they've been doing that. And those have been destroyed over and over and over and over again. It's not like it's not evident in the Torah and the Bible what happened to the sons of Israel that transgressed. They were destroyed, just like what the Quran says. And they say, oh, yeah, they're the bad ones, right? And you guys are the good ones that are not the sons of Israel. I mean, which world are these people living in? You're just as bad or worse than them because you do the same thing as they do. Just because you're not graced, yeah, by God or chosen by God doesn't absolve you of your crimes either. It's the same thing. The Satan, who was an angel, he was the highest blessed of God, one of the highest blessed of God, not the highest. One of the highest blessed of God, the highest rank you can achieve under God, the angel. And he transgressed. What happened? In hell forever. Understand how it works. You people don't understand how the reality works. The reality is what you cannot see. What you see is the unreality. But it's hard for you to understand because that's how you perceive yourselves to survive in this God-forsaken world and God-damned world today. It's absolutely cursed by God. It is under the curse of God, the whole of the earth, not one nation, all nations. So now he says, and what hastens you over your people, O Moses? So now at some time Moses, this is the time when he went for the Torah, yeah? When he was revealed the Torah in the 40 nights with God and the angels and the Spirit. So and Moses says, so Moses went early to God for some reason, or he hastens himself because he wanted to go early. And Moses says, those over my remnants, and I hasten to you, Lord, to your happiness. Right. I want out of that. Yeah, that's what he wants fundamentally. I want to make you happy. I want to come to you. And in reality, if you ask me, and I was Moses, I want to get away from those people, those believers apparently. He said, but surely we tried your people from after you and made them astray the Samiri. So he's saying that, oh, they're over my remnants, they're following me, and I hasten to you, Lord, to your happiness. So he thinks that they're following him and it's all good. And, but then God says, we tried your people from after you and had made them astray. The Samiri, the magician, or the pseudo-magician there amongst them. So returned Moses to his people angry, irritated. He said, O my people, did not he promise you, your Lord, a promise good? Is but long over you the promise? Or you intend that it be allowed over you anger from your Lord? But you deferred my promise because he took their promise. And he told Aaron that, follow me in my people and write. And don't be backer to the wrongdoers. I mean, not exactly, but that's fundamental message that he gave him before he went to God and the meeting. And they said, now, obviously, you got to blame someone else for your wrongdoing. So the sons of Israel respond to Moses, not we deferred your promise with our control. Yeah, we have no control to not break the promise. But we carried weight from beauty of the people, but we pushed them, but like that through the Samiri. So you're following that moron and you say, we don't have any control. Yeah, you love the life of the world. You love the beauty of the life of the world. It deceives you. So any moron is going to show you the beauty of the life of the world. You will go kiss his toes. You will bow down to him and follow him. And then when you're shown reality, oh, no, it wasn't under our control. Really? Is that how it works? So now when they threw, as the Samiri threw, but came out to them a calf, body to it, load. But they said, this your God, God of Moses, but forgot. So what is this referring to? Your goddamn beauty in the life of the world, you fools. Your bodies, your wealth, your gold, your silver, you're taking. That's what this is referring to, you morons. And you're running after it as if that's your God. Oh, exactly. That's what they say. And this is while the prophet is with them. Aaron was with them. And they're talking this nonsense, this smack against Moses, and saying, Moses forgot this is our God. Okay, okay. And then the Spirit says, did but not they see? Surely not it return to them saying, and not it control to them bad and not benefit? Oh, but no, they cannot see. They're blind, they're deaf, they're dumb. Their intellects are gone, their hearts are sealed, and they cannot hear or see anything. And already said to them Aaron from before. So now Aaron is there and he's saying, oh, my people, surely what you being tried with it, and surely your Lord the Almighty, but follow me and obey my command. Yeah, sure they did, right? Just like me. If I tell you this, what are you going to, oh, he's crazy. He has nothing. He's not in control. He has no power. Yeah, you don't understand. The messengers are the ones who are in actual power. You just don't accept it. You don't accept the power of the messengers. And the power is for you to obey them. Oh, that makes them the commanders in chief, doesn't it? And who's your commander in chief? I wonder. His name is Iblis. They said, not will we change over it walking around till he returns to us. So we're going to go keep walking around this calf, which doesn't even talk to us, idol worshipping, till he returns to us, Moses. So they're saying, yeah, you step aside, Aaron. You don't know Jack. And Moses forgot. So we're going to keep doing this nonsense till Moses returns. Just like you tell me, oh, we'll return till Jesus returns. We're going to wait till Jesus returns. Then we'll see. Or wait till the punishment comes. Okay. Or we wait till the death comes. Or we'll wait till you are killed. Okay. Keep going. He said, and now Moses turns to Aaron here. Now what's happened is this happened. Obviously, they're telling us that this happened, which Moses doesn't know, right? That this stuff happened and Aaron told them, hey, they blame the moron. Christians blame Aaron to be the wrongdoer. Nonsense. You think you are the wrongdoers, all of you on the earth, okay, today. Don't tell me other than that. You're all wrongdoers. There's none of you is righteous and none of you believe, okay, on the earth today, except me and those who stand by me completely. That's the only righteous people on the earth today. You can take that to the bank. I don't care. You want to argue with me? Come and argue. You'll see where you lost at the first instant when you try and argue with me, because you will deny this book and I'll say, go to hell. And they'll say, oh, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, okay. Let's see what happens after that. And many have already happened and some others will occur soon. Not will we change over it walking around till he returns to us. No, so Aaron had told this to them, right? Then Moses, who doesn't know this happened, says, oh, Aaron, what stopped you? Behold, you saw them astray. Surely not you. You followed me. But you disobey my command. This is a messenger of God to another messenger of God, accusing him of disobeying him. This is how severe we are when you disobey us. Okay? He said, oh, son of mother, don't you grab me. Don't you grab with my beard and not with my hair. Surely I feared that you say, you separated between sons of Israel, and not you near my saying. So now, the reason that Aaron gives to not writing between them, and they were astray and not separating them and taking the wicked away from the righteous, was that you would say, I separated the sons of Israel, and you would near my saying. And Moses accusing him, although he did not, he did not really disobey his command, but he didn't do what was right. Aaron should have stood up and said, separate between yourselves who believe with Moses and me and who don't. And then that would be the end till Moses came back. But no, he didn't. Aaron didn't do that. In that sense, he did something that he should have done, but it's a minor judgment error. It's a judgment error. He said, oh, maybe Moses doesn't want me to separate between the sons of Israel. And if I do this, they will separate and then Moses will not listen to me. But yeah, Moses saw that and he said, you disobeyed my command. You didn't write. I told you to write between my people. And he grabbed with his hair and his beard. Oh, these are two messengers of God, by the way. You think I'm going to be nice to you when you disobey me, or you reject me, or you reject God and all of us? You think we're going to be nice to you somehow, in some way and fashion? You can go to hell. That's what we're going to tell you. You're cursed for rejecting us, and you will go to hell. No matter how many decades you spend here, or how many centuries you spend here, or you spend 1,000 years here, you will still go to hell for rejecting us. He said, but what you're addressing, O Samiri. So now Moses now, okay, he's like, all right, whatever. Let's turn to this guy now. What you're addressing, O Samiri. And the Samiri responds, I saw with what not they saw with it, but I capturing from remnants of the messenger. Which messenger? So I pushed them. And like that question to me, my soul. So whatever was the remnants of the messenger, who is this? This is the angel or the spirit that came to collect Moses. So when he walked, whatever was the remnants that were of his steps, he captured that and he threw it in the fire. you know, as was inspired to him. So what does Moses respond to that? But go away. But surely to you in the life that you will say, don't touch. So how many people do you say cannot be touched in this life? That have problems with I don't know what that syndrome is called. Do you know?
No, I
People
don't know. No.
can't be touched. Yeah, there are many people who cannot be touched. They are afraid of touching anyone. So that's the curse on that guy and every other person who are not capable of being touched for some reason. And surely to you promised, not will you change it. And look to your God, the one you bowed over it walking around, to us surely burning it, then to us surely blowing it in the water blowing. Surely what your God, the one, no God except He, encompasses everything knowledge. And I'll stop here in this last. Like that, we explained over you from news of what has overtaken and has come to you from our side. Reminder talking to the messenger here. Yeah. We are all taught by God and his messengers, and then we teach you, and then you reject us in every possible way that you can imagine. So that's where we'll stop there. I think that covers the this part of the story. There's more in this, but I think we've got to our half an hour mark. So if anybody has any questions, they can comment.
Yeah, no, you explained to us really well. Moses' story is so interesting, and then you have explained it so clearly. You put the all the details, little details that are in so many places in the Quran. You put it all together, so it's very clear to us. And I think we could even continue more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but no, I've lost my
yeah,
steam a little
yeah.
bit.
Okay, okay.
So
So
now
uh,
whoever is want to ask, they can ask questions or they can come join us, or you can put forward what we've been talking about in the last week, what to discuss, or some other signs that you have coming.
So I did have a question, and it was regarding our soul. What happens to our soul when we go to sleep?
God takes it away. It leaves your body. Our soul leaves our body like as if in death, but not death actual. The body still is functioning, but the soul leaves the body when we sleep. Every time we sleep, the angel of death that's assigned to us will take away our soul, and when we are awoken, or when we wake up, the soul obviously is inserted back into our body. And where does it go? As I see it, as I believe it, it goes to the star that follows each of us up there in the heaven. There is a star that is assigned to every soul in the heaven. And that star is the place where I believe the soul goes to get regenerated and reinvigorated and re-energized and sent back. Because when you sleep, you are mostly almost dying or without energy, and when you come back, you have more energy than when you left. How does that happen? Right? It's the soul that gets energized,
Yeah.
not your body. The body just rests, right? But it's not being energized in the sense you're not putting any food into it. So how do you come back more energized when you're awake than when you went to sleep? It's because the soul gets energized. So the body just doesn't run on the energy of the body itself. It runs on the energy of the body and the soul. And the soul requires sleep or regeneration, and your body needs to go into dormant mode, whatever, 8 hours or 10 hours a day, to be able to function. That's how God has created it. That's his business. He does what he wants. That's how he's created us. And the soul, at the end, when you die, you will see the angel of death. At that time is the time you will see the angel of death. When people talk about near death experiences, and I died and I crossed over to the other side and I saw white light, and then I felt peace, and then I came back. Yeah, you ain't coming back from death. 99.999%, you're not coming back from death. Some people are given death here and then a life after that in this life, but by and large, the rule, the the vast majority, the absolute almost majority, will die once in this life and not come back. And at that time, you will see the angel, as opposed to when you go to sleep, you just fade away. That's what happens. If you notice, when you go to sleep, it's a fading. You fade away. You float away, I would say. At the edge of sleep, it's kind of this elation as well. It feels quite, it's a happy feeling when you float away into the abyss.
Yes, true enough. Okay, no. Interesting, yeah. And so, uh, well, if you can also read to us the story of Karun, who was from the people of Pharaoh, and in I think it's in chapter 28,
Yeah. This is related to
line
wealth,
76.
just what we've been talking about
Yeah,
today, earlier, a bit of.
yeah, yeah. Yes, and I do remember that when we were young, they used to talk about the treasure of Karun, and it was always taken as if it's
Hmm.
something good. And obviously, when I read the Quran and I read this story, and I'm like, man, this is totally the opposite. Like everything else that they have, confused us. Like you explained to us who are the prosperous,
Exactly.
and when we were growing up, prosperity was just who's the
Or in
richest is
power,
the
yeah.
prosperous.
Or in power.
Yes.
The one in power
Yeah.
is so let's read this segment here. So Karun was one of the three chiefs when Pharaoh was here on the earth. Pharaoh, Haman, and Karun were the three people who were the one of the three highest, three of the highest, and Pharaoh was the highest on the earth at that time. So Karun was one of them, and surely Karun was from people of Moses. I believe he survived the the parting of the sea. He did not die there. It was Pharaoh and Haman and his forces. Karun survived. Surely Karun was from people of Moses, but transgressed over them. And we brought him from the treasure, was surely opening of it to be taken out with the party with the force. So it was just the opening of that treasure required a party with massive force, with a lot of force to take out. Behold, said to him his people. So the people who are righteous say, what? Don't you rejoice? Surely the God, not he loves the rejoicers. So what is he rejoicing with? His wealth. And that's the absolute worst thing you can do, is to become proud and rejoice because you're wealthy, and seek in what brings you the God, the home of the hereafter. So instead of rejoicing, do things that will uh, make your home of the hereafter better with your wealth. And don't you forget your portion from the world. So don't like become a pauper either. This is trying to tell you that these morons who promise or accept poverty over them are idiots. I mean, if you're rich, why are you going to be forcefully become a pauper? Have you lost your mind? And be beneficent like what beneficent the God to you. And don't you seek the wars in the earth. Surely the God, he loves the not he loves the warring. So I mean, obviously, accept the wealth, right? People will say, no, 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 why should I give my wealth away to the poor? They need to make their own wealth. Were you once poor yourself? And if you weren't, then you're totally deluded, right? You think you will never be poor. He said, so now his response is, surely what I brought it over knowledge within me. Do you recognize this by anyone on the earth today that they say? I'll give you the biggest one, that satanic monster that calls himself Elon Musk. He is the biggest satanic monster who uses this as, I am rich because I have knowledge from within me. He has no knowledge. He's a scammer. He's a scam artist. Most of your wealthy people on the earth are scammers. They actually have no knowledge. They have just stumbled upon knowledge and they turn it into wares that will make them rich, into widgets they create that make them rich, because they know you will fall for that. And then what does the Spirit say? Or not he knew. Surely the God had destroyed from before him, from the generations, one. He's stronger from him force and more gathering. Did not he look that they were richer people before him? I mean, Musk is not even the richest man on the earth. The way you measure richness is insane, is lunacy, ludicrous. It's just these damn numbers don't make you rich just because you have more of them. And not he questions over their crimes, the sinner. So God doesn't question them. Yeah, but they'll be questioned when they're dead. But went out over his people in his beauty, said those, they wanted the life of the world. So now these are the opposite of these people who warned him, don't do this, you do this. So now he goes to those who, which is most of you, they look at Elon Musk and they bow immediately and glorify him and his achievements. Yeah. Oh, woes to us, example of brought Karun. Of what brought Karun? Surely he to be with portion great. Right. Do you see yourselves? Yes, but you won't. And said, those brought the knowledge. So now the other guys, woe to you, paying of the God better to one who believes and does righteousness. And not he throws her except the patient. Okay? He's not going to throw this except to the patient. This portion. But we covered with him and with his home the earth. So what happened? The earth ate everything in him. But not was to him from a troop, they helping him from other than the God, and not was from the helped. Do you understand what's going to happen to people in the end? The earth will eat you. Maybe not like this, but your body will return into the earth. Don't you worry about that. And change those who desired his place with the day before. So now those morons who will say, oh, to us example of what Karun has, they say, whoa, like surely the God. He extends the sustenance to one he wishes from his servants, and he measures. If not, that favors the God over us, to be covering with us. And woe, like surely he, not he makes prosperous the rejecter. So that's all it takes for the rich man to be destroyed, for you to wake up a little bit. These, the homes of the hereafter, we make them to those, not they want highness in the earth, and not wars, and the end to the pious. So this is the example of this guy. What happened? God just took him. There was no help to him. He took away all his ability and his sustenance and destroyed him. So here, let's see. First is, can you explain the sign 19, chapter 18 in the story of Zulkarnain? Okay, let's go to this sign. 18:90. Okay, so this is Zulkarnain, who is one of the angels of God, who put up the barrier between mankind and the Gog and Magog, which is spoken about with absolute insane, nonsensical knowledge on the earth by all of them. Yeah, they have no idea who these people are, the Gog and Magog. When they arrive, they will wake up. Maybe it probably won't be in our time. Maybe it will. I don't know. So Zulkarnain was set up on the earth, and he was given the paths to every place. So he followed one of those paths. And in chapter 18, sign 90, it says, till when reached rising of the sun, found her, she rising over a people. Not we made to them from other than her a covering. So this was basically a people who were in the open. They didn't have any kind of covering of foliage or tree or homes. They were out in the open, living in the open. The only thing that covered these people was the sun. So till when reached rising of the sun, found her, her is the sun, she rising over a people, the sun rising over a people, not we made to them from other than her a covering. So the only thing that would cover them is the sun when it's out, and the darkness when it's night. That's what it means. So here there's another, the story of Moses was explained beautifully in chapter 51. the spreaders are the first four signs talking about the angels of the God. Okay. Chapter 51. Let's go to chapter 51. So it says, and the spreaders spreading, but the carriers of heaviness, but the movers easing, but the dividers of commands. I mean, yeah, fundamentally, the most correct answer is that these are the angels. They're doing all the heavy lifting and spreading, and they move easy. But there's so much other that you can apply to this as well. The winds, the water, the birds, and of course, dividers of commands are the angels and the messengers and prophets of God, like me. We are the dividers of the commands. We divide the commands on the earth between mankind when God assigns us as the messengers and prophets. But the highest ones are obviously the angels and the spirit. And of course, God is the one who does it, obviously. Okay, so what else?
No, I mean, I did have the story of Sheba and what happened to them when they turned away from God and they rejected. If we have time for that, or maybe we can leave it for
No,
next
we'll leave
week.
that for next week. Something else.
Okay, fine.
Something else we talk about. We can talk about what we were talking about earlier today about Adam, the story of Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to bring
So,
that up that
so
you
we were talking earlier that the story in the first life when mankind failed, and the example is of Adam and his spouse, that they failed at the trial of the tree. There were three things that Satan enticed them with, and one of them was that they would become two angels. The other is they would inherit a kingdom that will never perish, and the third was that they would become perpetually living. So, as I've said earlier, the perpetually living enticement has to occur if there was a ideology of death. If they thought they were never going to die, or they were in forms that would never die, or the promise was that they would never die, then how could you be enticed by being told that if you take from this thing, you will live forever? So, the deduction that I make is that they were going to die eventually. So when you look at the thing that God says to Satan after he rejects his command, is that he says, "Give me sight to a day they brought out." In most cases, yeah, there's another caveat, but in many places, he asks God in the Quran, when that happens, "Give me sight to a day they brought out." Brought out of what? The trial they're in. So that could apply both there and here. Obviously, we're in trial here as we were there, as Adam was there. So, what is the trial? The trial is don't take from the tree, but there has to be a way out as well. They have to be able to succeed in the trial, so there has to be a term in that. And the term could be that they will die there without taking from the tree. That's possible. I'm just giving you possibilities. It's not like I'm not 100% certain. Or they could be that they reach a level of certainty in their souls that they will never take of that tree. That
tree.
that idea in their souls would vanish to a level God would accept. God cannot just say that you don't take this tree and I'm going to wait till you take it. That's not fair. So nobody's thought about this other aspect up until today, and maybe in the last time when the messengers were here before me and other messengers, but nobody has told me this. Nobody even considers what's going on there, right? In that life, they'd make it into some sort of a fantasy that didn't occur, and it's just a parable or a similitude. It's nonsense. So as I see it, it's possible. Again, I don't know this. I'm just saying what I'm thinking about the signs from this book, that there has to have been a term that if they didn't take, then they wouldn't have fallen and come down here. We would not be here, in other words, doing this second trial or the second chance we're in. If they had succeeded that trial, God knows what would have happened after that. I can't tell you. It's cause and effect with God. Every decision you take will bring on another path for you till the end comes in the trial you're in. And here we know that death will be that end. No matter what these morons tell you, no matter what the people on the earth promise you, death will be your end. That is the end of your term. When it comes, I can't tell you. I don't know when I'm going to die. Today, tomorrow, in the next second. Nobody knows when they're going to die. Nobody knows. It's not possible because that's the whole trial. He wants to see whether you will be constant and consistent till that death comes, and that then you'll be saved because of that constancy. And on the other side, if you're constantly against God and you die with that, you go to hell. You will lose, but you will not know when you're going to die. And those people are most of the time wondering how they're going to extend this life on the earth because they don't believe there's anything after this earth. They've made Darwinian nonsense of evolution, complete garbage that they teach you about what's happened to us and how we came about. Complete nonsense. And you believe that. I mean, it's a belief system on the earth today. I mean, it's the majority, even the goddamn people who say they believe God exists, they believe that nonsense. And they believe they're on a spinning ball. That is the bigger nonsense, I would say. Because evolution, you can show there is evolution, obviously. You can't show that this earth is a spinning ball, except in your goddamn CGIs and your videos and your made up false assumptions and things that you show that aren't actually happening, have not happened, cannot happen. So that, I mean, if we pass that trial, what would have happened? I don't know. It didn't happen, did it? What happened is this. So
No.
if I had turned left, I would have gone to the park, but I turned right and I went to the pit. I mean, what? So you didn't, so you couldn't. But if you didn't turn, you don't know where you would have gone. Right? And you don't know where you've gone if you turn left. I mean, you don't know this. You take your decision, you make your decision, and then you see what happens. And most people make no decision. They just decide to sit around and wait for God to send down manna and salva from the heaven. And they did. The sons of Israel had that, and they didn't even enjoy or like that. They wanted more. They wanted better than that in their minds. We cannot be satisfied with what we have in this earth unless you're content with what God brings you all the time. Then you'll be happy with whatever you have or you don't, because it doesn't really matter in the end. What really matters on the earth is that you have food, water, clothing, and shelter. That's all that matters. Other than that, it's just fun and games. You can do whatever you want after that. It's not like it's prohibited, but you spend all your lives trying to expand that nonsense. And that's what brings your end in the end. Devastation and destitution and decapitation. Yeah. They say, oh, it's going to be a decapitation strike on Iran. It's going to be a decapitation strike on Russia. And yeah, all of you are going to be decapitated by God, okay? You will lose all your heads in front of God. Nothing's going to stop you from God when it comes. Yeah, not your weapons, not your goddamn forts and fortresses and all the other nonsense you create. Nothing is going to help you at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I think we're done. If there are no other questions, we will come again maybe next, maybe possibly, probably next Saturday, 1 p.m. New York time. And if someone has something to read about or to go over in the Quran, you can send me a message and we will read that portion of the Quran and go into a little bit of depth of what is going on there. All right, then. Till then, peace.
Yeah. Salam and thank you.